For quite some time, Elon Musk and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg have been on rocky terms. Musk and Zuckerberg have made it pretty clear that they do not see eye to eye on the topic of artificial intelligence. As early as 2014, allegedly Mark was trying to convince Elon that he was wrong about AI and that he was being an alarmist regarding the potential dangers associated with it. And in addition to that, Musk went on Twitter and claimed to have deleted both the Tesla and SpaceX Facebook pages, as well as stating that Facebook gives him the willies. 2 years later, Facebook would make unexpected headlines along with SpaceX. SpaceX was undergoing testing of its partially reusable Falcon 9 rocket, and on the rocket was Facebook's Internet.org satellite. Per a contract between the two, the Falcon 9 would carry the satellite to space, thus providing internet connectivity to parts of Africa. This marked Zuckerberg's first attempt to merge space with internet services, and he wanted to try by ensuring wireless internet access across Africa's continent. Unfortunately, during the pre-launch test, SpaceX rocket explosion in 2016 destroyed this major Facebook satellite. Zuckerberg took to Facebook and wrote, "As I'm here in Africa, I'm deeply disappointed to hear that SpaceX's launch failure destroyed our satellite that would have provided connectivity to so many entrepreneurs and everyone else across the continent. The satellite was reported to have cost $200 million. The two would go on to take some petty shots at each other in the media, but not many waves were created between them until 2018. The hashtag #DeleteFacebook was trending, and Musk joined in with the crowd. He said that he has never used Facebook. With that, Elon deleted the Tesla and SpaceX Facebook pages, and then publicly commented that Facebook gives him the willies. This was no doubt a continuation of their debate years earlier about the dangers of artificial intelligence, as well as a commentary on Facebook's controversial privacy policies. And in spite the fact that Musk is no stranger to denouncing Facebook, he maintained, however, that there was nothing political motivating in his decision. Just 1 year earlier, Zuckerberg had refanned the flames of that 2014 conversation by stating that Musk had no reason to spew doomsday scenarios to scare the masses. He deemed it to be pretty irresponsible, maintaining that AI would actually improve people's lives in the future. In response, Musk said that the robots are a legitimate threat to the job force and that eventually they will be able to do everything better than us. Now let's take a look at Elon Musk and Bill Gates. It all started in February of 2020, right before the pandemic reached its height in the United States. Gates had publicly expressed interest in electric vehicles and opted to buy his first ever EV. The only problem? He went with a Porsche Taycan instead of a Tesla. After news of this broke, the Twitter account @Teslater, which brands itself to be the unofficial Tesla newsletter, tweeted, "I wonder why Bill Gates decided to go with the Taycan instead of a Tesla." Musk, who no doubt felt the same, went on Twitter and replied to this tweet, saying that it could not be misconstrued writing. "My conversations with Gates have been underwhelming, to be honest. Many state that this was the beginning of their feud, which, over the course of a year and a half at this point, has really only been some light jabs and tongue-in-cheek comments." Months later, in a podcast interview with New York Times writer Kara Swisher, who has also interviewed Elon Musk a number of times, Gates reportedly praised Musk on how he's approached the climate crisis as an entrepreneur. "It's important to say that what Elon did with Tesla is one of the greatest contributions to climate change anyone's ever made," he said. "And underestimating Elon is not a good idea. Of course, it's never a good idea to take only one or two quotes out of context." Gates went on to say in the interview that although Tesla's impact is admirable, addressing climate change through the production of electric cars is really just the easy stuff. "We're basically not doing enough on the hard stuff. Steel, cement, meat," he said. He believes that the electric car solution only addresses a third of what's really causing climate issues, and that the remaining 2/3 are going largely ignored. Some people believe this to be a direct response to Musk's previous comment about Gates on the Joe Rogan podcast, but more on that later. Although Gates and Musk are in two totally different industries, it can't be denied that their decisions have national, if not global, impacts. Whereas Musk spends much of his time and money on his plan to colonize Mars and forge a multi-planetary life for humans, Gates feels that there are other issues which need immediate attention and, of course, money. Now let's talk about Elon Musk and Warren Buffett. The chairman and CEO of Berkshire Hathaway is known to play it safe when it comes to money and investing. Despite his billionaire status, it is quite well known that Buffett lives in a modest house and tends to only invest in companies or ideas that he feels are secure, instead of looking for the next big thing. Many would say that Buffett's play it safe and long-term profit strategies are in contrast to Musk's way of going about his own financial matters. In March of 2020, Buffett was interviewed by Yahoo Finance Editor-in-Chief Andy Serwer to talk about the state of the stock market at that point. Serwer asked Buffett about Tesla in particular and what Musk has done with the electric car industry. Buffett's answer was positive, stating that it's an important change and that he can absolutely see the amount of electric cars increasing over the next 10 to 15 years. He also said that he thinks Musk has done some remarkable things in his career. Serwer then asked Buffett if he would ever invest in Tesla, to which Buffett replied simply, no. Serwer didn't press the issue any further. Now, Buffett's decision not to invest money in Tesla might come from the fact that the stock has been particularly volatile, especially over the past few years. Buffett prefers to invest in stocks that are more predictable and less choppy in the market. That's a strategy that Musk has in the past called lame, and as we all know, Musk's lifestyle and business practices are anything but lame. A few months after Buffett's interview, Musk sat down with Joe Rogan on his podcast for a 2-hour conversation, in which they spoke about everything from politics to investing. Elon shared his opinion about Buffett, stating that he is someone who focuses on capital allocation to inform his investments, and in his opinion, that's pretty boring. Rogan and Musk went on to agree that there is a difference between someone who becomes a billionaire by investing and moving money around the market, and someone who becomes a billionaire by creating products. This was an obvious method of saying Buffett doesn't produce goods, rather he is a businessman who knows how to shift his money around. It's clear that the two are not aligned in how they approach financial matters. Whereas Buffett comes off as more hard-lined and cares about the quarterly numbers, Musk is more preoccupied with product development and advancement, even if it means not meeting quarterly projections. In spite of these conflicts, there have been many times when Elon expressed deep appreciation and respect for these people, who are at the top of the world of business. But this is life, and it should not be surprising that such conflicts sometimes appear. And finally, if you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. It's easy, it's free, and it will be a great support for us.